On Saturday night as the Dodgers played the Cincinnati Reds. Bottom of the second inning, Eric Davis with a solo homer to left field off of Tim Belcher. Mickey Hatcher bounces off the wall as he tries to go for the catch, but no one caught it as Davis picks up his 8th home run and gives Cincinnati a 1-0 lead. And here's Hatcher bouncing off the wall. Would hit a solo homer to left field for his first of the year. And to tie the ball game up at 1 apiece, it came off of Red starter Tom Browning. Alfredo Griffin ties the ball game up with a solo home run. Stan Javier will then slap a ball to right center field. Paul O'Neill can't make the catch. Tim Belcher will score all the way from first base. Stan Javier will wind up at third. He now has a 12-game hit streak, 2-1 Los Angeles. Javier will come in on Mike Sharperson's single, and it's 3-1 after 2.5 innings of play. The Reds would score 8 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning, pick it up with the bases loaded, and the score tied at 3. Joe Oliver with the base hit to left field. Hatcher bobbles the ball. Todd Benzinger and O'Neill score 5-3 Cincinnati, and that would drive Belcher from the ball game. Tom Browning slaps a base hit off of Mike Hartley. Mariano Duncan scores, and it's 6-3 Cincinnati up by 3 runs. But they weren't done yet. 7-3 on a sacrifice fly when Eric Davis will drive in 2 runs with a double to the left field corner. Browning and Billy Hatcher come in to score, and it's now 9-3 Cincinnati after 4 innings of play. 9-5 now in the top half of the 6th inning. Stan Javier leading off of second base. Mike Sharperson will get his 2nd RBI of the game with a base hit to center field. Javier comes in to score from second, and it's now 9-6 Cincinnati. But in the bottom of the 6th inning, when the rain is falling, Billy Hatcher off of third base. Chris Sabo spanks a 2-run homer to left field, his 15th of the year, RBIs 36 and 37. And that made the score 11-6 Cincinnati, as the fans under the rain appreciated the home run by Chris Sabo, but the umpires didn't appreciate the rain, as there were 2 delays in the game due to rain, the first lasting 36 minutes while the second lasting 25 minutes. Reds owner Marge Schott and the rest of the fans tried to take cover, but for those who stuck it out through the 2 rain delays saw Tim Leana get Mickey Hatcher to ground out to end the ball game. The Reds win 11-6. Tom Browning the winner, he's 7-4. Belcher the loser, he's 5-5, and Leana picks up his first save. Back with the A's after sitting on the disabled list with a back problem on Saturday afternoon as the A's played the White Sox. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Willie Randolph with a line drive to center field. Lance Johnson tries to make the diving catch. The ball rolls by him. Felix Jose comes in to score. Randolph winds up at second base, and it's 1-0 Oakland. This game moving along in the bottom of the 3rd inning with the score tied at 1. Dave Henderson with a double to left center field. One hops it to the wall. Carney Lansford comes in to score, and it's 2-1 Oakland. RBI 31 for Dave Henderson. An interesting looking t-shirt, an interesting body wearing the t-shirt. Runner on second base, top of the 5th inning when Lance Johnson lays down the sacrifice bunt. Mike Moore throws, gets by Mark McGuire, and Johnson rolls all the way towards the bullpen. Ozzie Guillen comes in to score, and Lance Johnson hustles to third base, and this game is tied up at 2. Robin Ventura with the double to center field. Lance Johnson comes in easily to score from third base. The Sox lead now 3-2. RBI number 18 for Robin Ventura. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Mark McGuire will tie the ball game up with one swing of the bat. A solo home run off of Jack McDowell to deep center field. Number 19 for McGuire. RBI 47. This game is knotted up at 3 apiece. But in the top of the 6th inning, Ron Karkovice will also hit a solo home run. This one off of Mike Moore to left field, his 2nd of the year. RBI number 6. And the Sox lead 4-3. Jack McDowell will pitch a strong game for the Chicago White Sox. In the bottom of the 6th inning here, he'll strike out Carney Lansford to end the bottom of the 6th inning. He picks up his 4th win against 4 defeats. As the White Sox add one more run, and it's 5-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning with 1 on and 2 out. Bobby Thigpen in relief. Dave Henderson will hit this ball a long ways to left center field, but Lance Johnson will grab it against the wall, and they avoid a scare by Dave Henderson trying to tie the ball game up. The Sox win 5-3. Thigpen picks up his 23rd save. The Sox are now only 2 games behind the A's. Earlier in the ball game, Jose Canseco in his first at-bat was plunked by Jack McDowell, and he'll take first base. Canseco finished 0-4 on the day. In Boston, it's the Orioles and the Red Sox. 1-0 Boston on a sacrifice fly in the top of the 3rd inning when Luis Rivera lets Mike Devereaux's ball go through his legs for an error. After a base hit, Wade Boggs couldn't get a handle of his Billy Ripken sacrifice bunt, loaded the bases. Devereaux would score later on a double play to make it 1-1. Roger Clemens lasted only an inning and two-thirds Monday versus the Orioles, giving up 6 runs and 3 unearned. Gets Mickey Tettleton to end the inning 3-1 as he unloads some frustration as he's not happy with the play of the Red Sox behind him against the Orioles in his last 2 starts. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Dave Johnson gets some nice defensive help from Mike Devereaux as he makes the nice pickup on Dwight Evans' smash, and he throws him out at first base and was still tied up at 1 after 6. 2 outs and 2 on the top of the 8th inning, and Roger Clemens' bad luck continues as Jody Reed misplays Greg Walker's ground ball, hops over his glove into center field. Mickey Tettleton scores from second base. It's a second unearned run charged to Roger Clemens, and it's 2-1 Baltimore. Bottom of the 8th inning, Dwight Evans would tie the ball game up with a solo home run with 2 outs off of Dave Johnson. Goes over the Green Monster for his 6th home run of the year, and that evened the game up at 2 apiece. Top of the 9th inning, now a scary moment for Steve Finley as he gets beamed by Roger Clemens in the back of the helmet. He would get up, but he would be forced to leave the game as he was a little dazed on the play as Steve Finley got beamed on the back of the helmet by Roger Clemens. Top of the 10th inning, Mickey Tettleton would give the Baltimore Orioles the lead with a solo home run off of Rob Murphy into the screen in left field, his 11th of the year, and that gave Baltimore a 3-2 lead, with Greg Olson coming in to try to shut it down in the bottom of the 10th inning with 1 on and 2 outs. Versus Olson, Dwight Evans will crush a 2-run homer into the net for his 7th home run of the year, his 2nd of the game. The Red Sox win 4-3. Olson hadn't given up a home run in 115 innings. That was April of 1989, and it was to Dwight Evans of the Boston Red Sox. Sox win 4-3. Jeff Gray, the winner, he's 1-0. Greg Olson is the loser. He drops to 3-2 as we take a look at the swing that gave the Red Sox the victory.
Action from Anaheim, California, as Doug Rader and the California Angels play host to the Detroit Tigers. In the top of the 2nd inning, Lloyd Mosby with a double down the first base line. That drives in Cecil Fielder from second base, and the Tigers are on top by a score of 1-0. The very next pitch to Jim Lindemann from starter Jim Abbott would be a ground out 6-3. Darnell Coles will score from third base, and the Tigers go on top by a score of 2-0. In the bottom half of the 2nd, Jack Howell will hit a ground ball down the first base line. 3-1 on the putout as Cecil Fielder knocks it down. Chili Davis scores from third, and the Tiger lead is cut in half at 2-1. Then in the top of the 3rd inning, Alan Trammell will hit a single into left center field. Lou Whitaker will score from second base, and the Tigers up their score to 3-1. And at any ball game, you can usually find all sorts of fans. In fact, this young lady checking out this man who is doing his best to impress the young lady, but obviously not interested. Move now to the bottom of the 4th inning. Chili Davis up, and he smacks a solo home run to deep center field. Number 8 for Chili Davis, RBI number 32, and the Tiger lead is cut to 3-2. Then the top of the 5th inning, Tony Phillips will hit a single into center field. Devon White will bobble the ball. That allows John Shelby to score, and the Detroit Tigers extend their lead to 4-2. Then the bottom of the 6th inning, with Detroit up by a score of 5-3, Chili Davis will hit his 2nd home run of the game, this going out to deep right field. Number 9 for Davis, and the Detroit lead is cut to 6-3, but the Angels would get no closer as the Tigers go on to win this one by a score of 9-4. Jeff Robinson with the win, his record now 6-5. Jim Abbott takes a loss, his record drops to 5-5, as once again the Tigers win it 9-4. As the Blue Jays play host to the red-hot New York Yankees. In the top of the 2nd inning, the Yankees jump out on top. Matt Noakes with a 2-run home run to right field. That's Dave Righetti catching the home run ball as Glenn Allen Hill loses his glove. Mel Hall scores on the play. Home run number 6 for Noakes. RBI 17 and 18. And the Yankees lead it by a score of 2-0. Then the bottom of the 2nd inning with the bases loaded, Glenn Allen Hill makes up for dropping his glove over the wall as he hits a 2-run double down the left field line. This coming with the bases loaded as McGriff, Myers, and Liriano all score. And the Blue Jays go up on top by a score of 3-2. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, starter Tim Leary would go through some wildness as he uncorks a wild pitch, allowing Tony Fernandez to score from third base. And this gives the Blue Jays a 4-2 lead. The very next pitch to George Bell would strike him out, but once again, the pitch would be in the dirt. A wild pitch once again for Tim Leary as George Bell makes it to first base. Kelly Gruber scores, and the Jays go up on top by a score of 5-2. Then the bottom of the 7th inning with Toronto up 7-3, John Olerud with his second RBI of the day as he hits a double into left field. George Bell scores, and the Jays go up on top by a score of 8-3. Then the top of the 9th inning with the Jays up 8-4 and the bases loaded, Tom Henke comes into the game and strikes out Don Mattingly with a pitch in the dirt, then strikes out Mel Hall to end the ball game as Toronto wins at 8-4. Stoudemire with the win, his record now 8-3. Leary with the loss, his record drops to 3-10. Henke with his 12th save. Toronto remains a half game in front of second place Boston, and it also ends the Yankees' season-high 4-game winning streak.
Powell and the Astros at home on Saturday afternoon to take on the Giants, and in the top of the first with Will Clark at the plate. Mike Kingery steals second, and then he would go to third on the Craig Biggio throwing error and coming to score on a sac fly by Clark, and it's 1-0 San Francisco. Mark Portugal on the mound for Houston would work 8 innings, allowing just 2 unearned runs and no walks while striking out 5. Here getting Matt Williams in the top of the second. This in the midst of retiring 15 straight Giants. Bottom of the third, Portugal lays down this bunt, and pitcher Trevor Wilson would sprain an ankle while trying to field the bunt, and he would have to leave this game in the bottom of the third with the Giants holding a 1-0 lead. And we'll move now to action in the top of the 5th. Matt Williams steps to the plate and hits this long drive to center field. However, it's Eric Yelding of the Astros on the run, and he makes a great catch bouncing off the wall. Roger Craig's Giants would increase their lead in the top of the 7th to 2-0 as Rob Thompson lays down this beautiful squeeze bunt. And as he's thrown out, Kevin Mitchell scores 2-0 Giants. But in the bottom of the 8th with Eric Yelding on first base, Steve Bedrosian now in for the Giants. And he surrenders this RBI double to Franklin Stubbs. And Yelding comes in to score, and it's a 2-1 game. Then after Bedrosian would walk Craig Biggio, Jeff Brantley would come in and surrender this single to Glenn Wilson to score Stubbs, and then an error by Kevin Mitchell enables Biggio to come all the way around to score to make it 3-2. The Astros add another run, and they win 4-2 to snap a 7-game losing streak. Mark Portugal is 2-7. He's the winner, his first win since April the 17th. Bedrosian, the loser, 3-5. Dave Smith picks up his 14th save.
Afternoon baseball action from Wrigley Field in Chicago as the game time temperature was 62 degrees with the wind blowing from left to right at 17 miles per hour. It made for an interesting ball game as we pick up action in the top half of the first inning. Terry Pendleton with the bloop single into left field scores Willie McGee and Todd Zeile as Joe Girardi drops the ball at home plate on the tag. RBIs number 39 and 40. And the Cards go up by a score of 2-0. Then the top of the third inning, Terry Pendleton once again with a triple to left field. It's misplayed by Dwight Smith as Pedro Guerrero and Todd Zeile both score. RBIs number 41 and 42. Pendleton had 4 RBIs on the day as the St. Louis Cardinals go up by a score of 4-0. In the bottom of the third inning with the Cards up 4-1, Andre Dawson hits a ground ball to short. The sure-handed Ozzie Smith bobbles it. This allows Ryan Sandberg to score. An error for Ozzie Smith, and the Cardinals' lead is trimmed to 4-2. Then the top of the fifth inning with the Cards up 6-2. Jose Oquendo with a triple to right field with 2 out. Milt Thompson and Dwight Smith both score as the St. Louis Cardinals go up by a score of 8-2. But in the bottom of the fifth inning, the Cubs start their comeback when Ryan Sandberg connects off starter Bob Tewksbury for a 3-run home run to right center field. Number 20 for Sandberg, RBIs 46, 47, and 48, as Dave Clark and Dwight Smith both score. The St. Louis lead is trimmed to 8-5. The Cubs would get 2 more runs in the 7th inning, and then we pick up action in the bottom of the 9th inning with St. Louis up by a score of 8-7, and the winning run at the plate in the form of Andre Dawson. But Lee Smith closes the door as Andre Dawson flies out to left field to end the ball game. Lee Smith moves past Dan Quisenberry to 5th place on the all-time saves list with 245 saves. For Lee Smith, it's his 7th save of the season as St. Louis wins at 8-7. Tewksbury with the win. His record is now 2-0. Mike Bielecki takes the loss. His record drops to 3-7 as once again Lee Smith picks up his 7th save of the season.